Hello, students. Today we are going to start with Unit 1, that is town planning and legal aspect. In this lecture, we'll be basically covering the basic definition of town planning, why it is important to plan a town, and what are the different principles and objectives you as an engineering student needs to know. So, let us move ahead. So, in this slide, I want you guys to observe the basic difference between the two pictures that are in this slide, the right one and the left one. I want you to observe how visible is the road alignment, or how is the town planned, which is a better planned town, and how can you say it? Just give yourself a moment. So, if you carefully observe the right figure, the buildings are so perfectly aligned that the road layout, you can see out here, right? This is clearly visible. These are the road layouts. So, the road layouts are also visible, and when you compare with it with the other plan out here, other town plan, there hardly some part of the road is visible. That also it's very curved, congested. This might be the road, and this might be the street lanes. So you can see the difference, right? You can compare how congested this town is, and this will basically lead to your traffic congestion. Hence, this both the differentiation in both the picture is enough to show the importance of town planning. So, coming to the definition of town planning, it is a process of designing and regulating the use of land in urban spaces to accommodate structural system safety and efficiently. This include arrangements of various buildings and units in such a way that a person or a society is highly benefited from the arrangement. Out here, when we talk about your various building, it includes all the building category that has been given to us. That is your residential building, educational building, institutional building, assembly building, business building, mercantile building, industrial building, storage building, and hazardous building. It is given by the National Building Code, which is important for us to know before moving ahead in this unit. So, the various building, and we have we have stated this term as unit. Unit is basically your road, park, utilities, amenities, which is basically important for functioning of well-being of society. So when these two factors, your building, various buildings, and your units are aligned properly, then it can be stated that the town has been planned properly. So, how properly your road connectivity, your town road connectivity is, how much less time does it takes you to travel from your workspace to your house? How easily accessible your hospitals, or how important places in terms of emergency, like how can you, how reachable, how accessible all the facilities are you to, and how it is benefiting you. So when you can answer this question now, you will be able to answer if a town is well planned or not. So moving ahead, I've already stated you, this is the building category given by National Building Code. All the buildings are denoted by a particular alphabet, that is A, B, C, D, EFGHI. So in further units also in classes, if I say building A, so that will fall under your residential building. If I say building H, so that will be your storage building. So you should be well equipped with this knowledge. Even in many government exams, these questions are very out of this portion, the questions are very relevant. So you should know this. So I'll just give you the examples of all the buildings that I have listed out here. One is your residential building. Residential building essentially means your housing, basically your flats, your house, your bungalow. That is the example of residential building. Your educational building is your school, colleges, that comes under your educational building. Institutional buildings is your organizational organize your organization building where there is that is not your basically residential buildings such as your hospital, okay, government offices, and then your assembly building is where your people assemble, the buildings where people assemble. You can say your parliamentary or parliamentary house or your stadiums. So that is basically your assembly building. So in business building, your banks or your courthouses, all this all this comes, or the buildings which manages your accounts and records, so that comes under your business building. Mercantile building is building which where different trades takes place. Storage buildings, I can give you example of warehouse where you store grains or anything, so that will be your storage building. Hazardous building is your nuclear power plant or any chemical or any chemical emitting plants, so that comes under your hazardous building. So this was the proper explanation of all the building category. I hope this is clear. So now there might be a question, or I can also ask you guys like if the concept of town planning is new or it is old or ancient. So, the concept of town planning is not new or hot term. It has always been in our universe, and we as in Indians, we have been a part of the most advanced civilization of the whole continent, that is Indus Valley civilization. It has been considered as most advanced because the evidence has shown that the burnt bricks were used in civilization, in Indus Valley civilization, along with the proper proportioning of the height, width, and breadth of the bricks, which is not visible in any other civilization in corners of the world. So this all evidence, it has the Indus Valley civilization had proper drainage facilities. It was divided into three parts. One was administration block, one was residential blocks, and one was your like public block where you have big what you say bathtubs and your entertainment facilities. Everything out there was there. Which so this basically shows the evidence that how town planning has been going on from generation to generation. Similarly, in other countries also there were civilization. One of them is your ancient Egypt civilization, which was famous and located near the river Nile. So, moving ahead, so why town planning? At this picture. So, what will have a reaction when you look at this picture? This G. And why do you think you'll have this reaction? The town basically looks scattered, no proper boundary. Can you even draw a boundary like this? Then where will the line go? No proper boundaries, ultimately leading to improper housing and road spaces, which will lead to traffic congestion. It is already visible, and pollution also. The scattered planning also lead to improper drainage facilities. अगर improper drainage facilities, that will invite a flooding. So poor waste management, that will basically lead to different pollutions, health problems, and hence leading to overcrowding. And overcrowding हो गया तो what will it will impact the health of the whole town, and this healthy town will be, this is not healthy, sorry, and a healthy town will be converted into a slum. So it was an improper town planning, and it was improper town plan which has led to scattered settlement, unhealthy settlement. या ट्रैफिक कंजेशन नॉइजी, अभी ट्रैफिक कंजेशन है तो नॉइजी एटमॉस्फेयर होगा, फिर अनकंट्रोल्ड डेवलपमेंट, अभी एक घर ऐसे बना दिया तो उसके बगल में एक घर ऐसे है, पर एक घर अचानक से ऐसे आ गया क्योंकि बाउंड्रीज कुछ डिफाइन नहीं है। अभी दिस इमेज यू कैन सी इसका छत का शेप ही देख लो कैसा है, यू कैन सी हाउ miserable the arrangement looks like. So, anesthetic appearance that comes into the box and inadequate open spaces. You can see there is no open space out there. So, that is the problem. So, now coming to the another image. So, when we look at this slide, it you can see how buildings are perfectly aligned. The road layouts. This is the pavement, sorry. These are the road layouts. They're beautifully planned, and without any doubt you can say beautiful open spaces, how beautifully the open spaces are given. And this basically leads to no pollution and congestions. And the reaction is just wow. So what we can say, the proper town planning leads to uniform settlement, you can say healthy settlement, no traffic congestion, peaceful environment, aesthetically aesthetic appearance. The appearance of that plan was very beautiful, right? And adequate open space. It had many open spaces, proper ventilation you can get in this plan though. Then so let's move ahead to the objective of town planning. So basic object or the objective of town planning is beauty, convenience, environment, and health. So coming on to the beauty part, your planned town should be aesthetically appealing and a brand of attraction to industry, people, or visitors. The utility should be such so that the people migrating to the town should have no problems. For example, the water facilities, the electric facilities, the road facilities should be at top notch so that the people visiting out there should have no problem and have, and that town should provide that convenience. So they visit back or the industries out of the aesthetic or the convenience, they can just invest upon that town, that particular town. Okay. It should also be planned in such a way that the environment of the town should mold away the stress of the resident residing in the town itself. The environment बहुत peaceful होना चाहिए. It should be very much peaceful that the person, people, or anyone residing in that town should मतलब वो environment देख के उसके वर्कलोड 9 to 5 जॉब वाला टेंशन वो ही ऐसे निकल जाए वैसा होना चाहिए environment. Okay. Lastly, the health, the objective of health. Be health does not always lead to your physical state. It basically targets every state, your mental state, your physical state, and your spiritual state. So this can be taken care by accommodating the town planning schemes in such a way that you maximum provide the open space, and in open space also you should give parks, recreation centers like sports or gyms, anything related to your that uplifts your society. And this all stuff helps in maintaining the pollution of various form to lowest possible degrees. So now to achieve the objective listed to achieve all this objective, so we have some principle principle of town planning that we have to follow to achieve this objective that are listed. So that is basically the different terms are the green belt, housing, public building, recreation center, road system, transportation facility and zoning facility. इन सब के लिए वो सब objectives के लिए ये सब principle. This we shall be discussing in next lecture. So till then, if you have any queries, you are free to contact. Okay, thank you.